My name is Valerie Goodman, and I am here in honor of the Summer Olympics taking place in London. And just so you know, a little trivia fact, this is the third time that the Olympics have taken place in London. They took place in 1908 and 1948, and now this year in 2012. So third time, this is a charm, definitely. That is a charming place to be. For those of you who are practicing to get fit or to pursue whatever it is, using the Olympic mindset of a champion, using yoga to help you pursue your choice of excellence. And one of the first things that you can do, we're going to work on the lower part of the body, our legs, which help us get where we want to go. And the first one is let yourself do a wide-legged squat. And on this one, your legs are going to be open past your hips with your toes pointing outward and letting yourself bend to those knees. Bring your pelvis forward so you feel your spine straight and let your hands rest onto those knees. And as you let yourself settle into gravity, you're going to feel the shoulder blades coming closer together. And this is a great pose to let yourself roll one shoulder at a time and look over the other shoulder and then do the opposite side. So as you're doing this, you're letting your spine get a nice twist. You're letting those quads get a nice strengthening as you do this. You're breathing. As you balance onto your feet, noticing what it's like to balance on both the balls of the foot and the heel at the same time and not putting too much pressure into one. And then letting yourself come into a neutral squat as you do this, and then let yourself rest your elbows onto each respective leg and let yourself hold this. And as you're in this engaged pose, you will feel the muscles working, the strength building just by staying still in this pose. And let yourself breathe as you're doing this. And let yourself take 3 more breaths as you're doing this, knowing that no pose lasts forever, but the mind of a champion does. And let yourself come down as you let yourself come down onto your mat. Another thing that we're going to do to help lengthen in our squat mode is let ourselves come onto our feet and let yourself open them up a little bit past the width of the mat, and let yourself bring your hands on the inside of your knees and press your palms together, and you're going to be squatting into this. And as you're squatting into this, you really feel the lengthening going on into the inner legs as you breathe into this. If this is too intense, an alternative to let yourself do this is if you have blocks, you can let yourself elevate your heels and be on that as you breathe into it. But eventually, let the feet be flat as you let yourself just use these arms, press those legs open, and breathe into it. The next pose that you can do in this mode is let yourself bring the legs together. And again, if it's too intense, you can let your heel rest onto the block and let yourself bring your hands in front of you. So you are engaging the legs, that spine is nice and straight. To intensify it, you can let that block come down, so that challenges your balance, and then you're like this. And so letting yourself breathe into it, and then letting yourself come out by letting yourself just gently curve that spine, breathing into it, make a little micro bend in your knees as you just let yourself shake your head, breathe into it, and let yourself come out of it. And you're doing some great work on strengthening these legs. The next pose that you can do that is some parts of the body that we don't even think about working would be our toes. And work your toes, let yourself press onto your toes while you're on your knees and see what it's like to let yourself sit down. Now, this may be too intense initially, so you can use a blanket for those with knee issues and let yourself sit on that. And you'll notice as you let yourself be in this, it feels pretty uncomfortable on those toes as you bend them. But it's something that you can focus on and breathe into it and see where you can let yourself be in your certain edge in the toe bend and let yourself do that. And then as you let yourself come out of it, it feels great when the toes are unbent. And then you let yourself on an ankle bend, let yourself sit on those heels, and you feel yourself bending the ankle in the opposite direction as you're doing this, and just breathing into it. And again, if it's too intense on the leg bends, letting yourself bring a blanket underneath you and let yourself sit on that, and let your palms be down as you just let yourself breathe, and just feel your spine nice and straight, your core engaged as you breathe into it. And while we're in this pose for just a few moments, as we're breathing into it, just want to tell you a great quote from one of a runner, Olympic champion, Florence Griffith Joyner. Said, "When anyone tells me I can't do anything, I'm just not listening anymore." I think that's a good idea. Namaste.